Even after complete domination, the Bruins find a way to throw the game, and Ullmark is the culprit here in today's Game 5. The Bruins find a way to lose 4-3 to the Florida Panthers. We're going to get into the recap here in just a moment, but if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. This is the Duster McDaniels YouTube channel. Thank you guys for stopping by. If you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit a like button if you guys want to help grow the channel. It does help a ton with the algorithms, but getting right into this game, guys, the Bruins absolutely dominated the Florida Panthers. I'd say the only close period was the first period, a little back and forth play, and the Panthers actually never were down in this game. The Bruins always trying to claw their way back into this thing, even in pure dominating fashion. Still can't get the job done. Dominated overtime, and just one bad, poor mistake by Ullmark sends the Bruins packing back to go to Florida, back to Sunrise for Game 6. I don't know if the game will be Sunday or Saturday. It looks like it'll be Saturday. Excuse me. But this game, what a interesting one it was. Looking at team stats, Bruins heavily outshooting the Panthers. Bobrovsky was absolutely on fire. Even though he gave up 3, I thought he had one of his best games in a long time in the playoffs. 47-25 for the Bruins. Face-off percentage, 62% in favor for the Bruins. Power plays 1 for 2 for the Panthers, 2 for 5 for the Bruins. Hits 48-40 in favor of the Panthers. Block shots 19-15 in favor of the Panthers, and then giveaways 17-10 in favor of the Panthers, only having 10. And again, the Bruins, I mean, they were just all over the officiating in this game. I thought was subpar. Again, that seems to be the theme throughout the playoffs. Couple of just poor penalty calls, especially there in the third period. The Bergeron goal was off of a poor call against the Panthers, and then the Reinhart goal was off of a poorly called penalty against the Bruins. Taylor Hall had an exceptional game again. He has found himself these playoffs with 5 goals so far. Marchand chipping in. Bergeron back in the lineup was able to chip in for his first goal of the series, and Tkachuk getting the gift game winner in overtime. Pretty awesome to see there. Duclair also getting his first of the playoffs. Looking at more in-depth team stats, individual stats, Barkov, a little quiet. He's been pretty quiet throughout this entire series, but he did chip in for assist, was a +2, only 36% in the face-off circle, which is unlike him. He most of the time would be going up against Bergeron, so anytime you're going against one of the best in the league, you're most likely not going to come out on top in that one. Tkachuk, 1 goal, 1 assist, again playing the way he typically does, which is very solid, very heavy on the puck, and shows that little bit of skill and a little bit of luck there in overtime off of the Ullmark mistake. Verhaeghe really getting involved, I thought, this game, and it shows on the score sheet. 3 assists on the day and was a +3. 3 shots on goal, 2 total hits for 19-16 worth of ice time. I thought he was an outstanding performer today, as well as Reinhart and Bennett. Bennett getting a very nice goal in this game, as well as Reinhart on the power play. 2 high draft picks starting to chip in a little bit more. Ekblad was quiet on the day, but I thought he was very solid throughout. Gudas throwing the body around, 7 hits. Forsling pretty quiet. Montour very quiet. He was hurt a little bit there in the third period, so his ice time only 19:55. Not too sure if there'll be a lingering injury or not. Everyone's usually playing dinged up this time of the year, but Bobrovsky, absolutely stellar performance. 44 out of 47 stopped for a .936 save percentage. And this is almost like old-fashioned classic Bobrovsky that we were used to seeing, just playing out of his mind, and really, I think, keeping the Panthers in this game with that lucky break at the end. Looking now at the Bruins quickly, -2 for Bertuzzi. He was throwing the body around, 4 hits on the day, but no points for 19-19 worth of ice time. Marchand, 1-1 on the day. Taylor Hall, even though he only had 1 goal, I thought he played excellent for the 16:46 he was out there for. Bergeron, 1 goal. -1 was 69% in the face-off circle, and he did play 19 minutes of ice, or get 19 minutes of ice time. On the back end, McAvoy had 2 assists, was a -1, 7 shots on goal, 4 hits. He just, it only says one giveaway, but there were a lot of bonehead mistakes that he was making. Honestly, I don't know how he wasn't called for. I don't know if it was on, I think it was on Bennett near the end of the third period. We sort of like hacked down on him, slashed him, and started punching him. I have no idea how he didn't get a penalty on that play. I was like, man, he just cost them the game right in front of the referee. No hand goes up whatsoever. I don't understand the reffing this playoffs. I don't know how it can get better, but it's one of those things at this point we might just have to deal with missed calls and whatnot. And I'm not for one team or another. I'm just for fair play and fair gameplay. And that to me just was kind of taking it over the top, and he got away with it. Carlo, 1 assist on the day. Grzelcyk was a -2, but I know he hasn't really been in the series as much, so I think a couple more games and he'll get going, especially with what I think will happen. Orlov was a little quiet tonight, wasn't producing as much, but did get 25-59 worth of ice time. Ullmark, I thought, other than the mistake tonight, didn't have one of his better games, but overall I don't think the Bruins played that stellar in the defensive zone anyways. With the amount of shots the Panthers got, they let in a lot of goals. So you can't really blame Ullmark except for the very end. That was his fault. That was his mistake. He's going to have to live with it. But at the end of the day, I think they'll come back with him in Game 6. I guess moving on to my prediction for Game 6. Going back to Florida barely sneaking out of there. That could galvanize this group and sort of stir the pot, get them going back home, which, to be quite honest, I think it might happen. This is one of those games where Marchand had a chance there at the end of regulation to win the series on a breakaway. Bobrovsky comes up big. They blow it in overtime. Could this be one of the things that changes the series around? In my mind, it possibly could. I do think the Panthers will win Game 6 on home ice. My guess is it'll be a 4-3 overtime win, just like tonight. I think 4-3 for the Panthers will be a perfect score line. I think another defensive sort of sieve effort for the Bruins in the next game. I think they'll still get some contributions from some of their top dogs. I know Pasternak was a little quiet tonight, but that won't happen every single game in a playoff series. But I do think the Panthers will come out on top in Sunrise, Florida, to send it back to Boston for Game 7. That's my prediction. I expect Tkachuk to have a huge game, as well as Bennett, Barkov, and Verhaeghe. I think it will be sneaky performance from him in Game 6. But let me know what your guys' thoughts were on Game number 5, as well as your predictions, X factors, and anything else you want to bring up for Game number 6 moving forward. This has been a really fun series. I'm really excited to watch Game 6. But that's going to be it for this episode. I hope you guys have a good one. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like. But as always, stay dusty.